Composer Handel. George Frideric George Frideric Handel (1685–1759) was a German-born composer who spent much of his career in England. He is famous for his contributions to Baroque music, particularly his operas, oratorios, and instrumental music. Some of his most famous works include the oratorio Messiah, the water music, and the music for the royal fireworks. Handel was born in Halle, Germany, and received his musical training there. He traveled to Italy as a young man to study and compose operas, and later moved to London where he became a prominent figure in the city's music scene. Handel composed more than 40 operas, as well as numerous oratorios, cantatas, and instrumental works. He was known for his ability to write music that was both powerful and expressive, and he was especially skilled at creating memorable melodies. His music has had a lasting impact on the Western classical music tradition and continues to be performed and studied today. Handel's career spanned several decades, during which he wrote music in a wide variety of genres. He began his career composing operas, which were hugely popular in 18th-century Europe. Handel's operas were notable for their inventive use of vocal music and their elaborate staging. However, by the mid-1730s, the popularity of opera had declined, and Handel turned his attention to oratorios. Oratorios were similar to operas in many ways, but were generally based on sacred rather than secular texts. Handel's oratorios, such as Messiah and Judas Maccabeus, were enormously successful and are still widely performed today. In addition to his vocal music, Handel also composed a great deal of instrumental music, including suites, concertos, and sonatas. His water music, composed for a royal boat trip on the Thames in 1717, is particularly famous and has become one of his most enduring works. Throughout his career, Handel was known for his skill as a performer as well as a composer. He was an accomplished keyboard player and often played the organ or harpsichord at his own performances. He was also a successful businessman, establishing his own opera company and managing his own concerts and performances. Handel's music has had a lasting impact on classical music, and he is widely regarded as one of the greatest composers of the Baroque era. His influence can be heard in the works of many later composers, including Mozart, Beethoven, and Mendelssohn. Handel's most famous work, the oratorio Messiah, was composed in just 24 days in 1741. The work was first performed in Dublin, Ireland, and was an immediate success. The oratorio tells the story of the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ, and features such iconic pieces as the Hallelujah chorus. Another notable work by Handel is his music for the royal fireworks, which was composed in 1749 to celebrate the signing of the Treaty of Aix-la-Chapelle. The work features an elaborate orchestration, including a large number of wind instruments, and was originally performed in London's Green Park with a fireworks display. Handel's career was not without its ups and downs. He faced competition from other composers, financial difficulties, and criticism from the press. In addition, he suffered from health problems in his later years, including blindness. However, he continued to compose music until his death in 1759, leaving behind a legacy of great music that continues to be celebrated today. In recent years, there has been renewed interest in Handel's music, particularly in his operas. Many of his operas have been staged in new productions, often with modern interpretations and innovative staging. This has helped to introduce Handel's music to a new generation of audiences and to highlight his continuing relevance to the classical music tradition. Handel's legacy extends beyond his own compositions. He also had a significant impact on the development of music in England. In particular, his work helped to establish English as a language of opera and oratorio, which had previously been dominated by Italian. In addition, Handel's music played an important role in the development of choral music. His choral works, such as Messiah, feature intricate vocal arrangements and demonstrate Handel's skill at blending voices to create a powerful and moving sound. This influence can be seen in the works of later composers, such as Beethoven and Brahms, who also wrote great choral music. Handel's music has also had a lasting impact on popular culture. His melodies have been used in a wide range of settings, from advertising to film and television. In particular, the Hallelujah chorus from Messiah has become one of the most famous and recognizable pieces of music in the world. Finally, Handel's life and work have been the subject of much scholarly study and analysis. His music has been examined in detail, and there is ongoing debate among scholars about his stylistic influences and musical innovations. Handel's letters and personal papers have also been studied, shedding light on his personal life and the social and cultural context in which he lived and worked. One interesting aspect of Handel's career is his relationship with the royal family of England. Handel was appointed the court composer by King George I in 1714, and he went on to compose music for many royal occasions, including coronations and birthdays. His close association with the royal court helped to establish his reputation as a composer of great importance. However, Handel's relationship with the royal family was not always smooth. He clashed with George II over the direction of the Royal Opera, and he was eventually forced to disband his opera company. Despite these difficulties, Handel continued to receive commissions from the royal family throughout his career. Another interesting aspect of Handel's music is his use of musical forms and structures. He was known for his ability to take existing musical forms, such as the aria or the concerto grosso, and to transform them in new and innovative ways. His music often features unexpected harmonies and sudden shifts in mood or tempo, giving it a sense of drama and excitement. Handel's music also reflects his broad cultural interests. He was influenced by a wide range of musical styles, from Italian opera to German chorales. And he often incorporated elements from different traditions into his own compositions. This eclecticism helped to make Handel's music accessible to a wide audience and contributed to its enduring popularity. Finally, Handel's music continues to be performed and celebrated today. His works are regularly performed by orchestras, choirs, and opera companies around the world. And he is widely regarded as one of the greatest composers in the Western classical tradition. His legacy is a testament to the enduring power and beauty of his music, and his influence can be heard in the works of countless composers who came after him. One notable aspect of Handel's life was his involvement in charity work. He organized and performed in many benefit concerts throughout his career, raising money for a wide range of charitable causes. This included concerts to support hospitals, orphanages, and the relief of prisoners. Handel's charitable work was widely recognized during his lifetime, and he was even given the title of Governor of London's Foundling Hospital in 1749. Another interesting aspect of Handel's music is his use of musical symbolism. He often used musical motifs and themes to represent specific ideas or emotions in his works. For example, in Messiah, he uses the descending notes of the bass line to represent the descend of Christ to earth, and the rising notes of the chorus to represent the ascend of Christ to heaven. Handel's music was also influenced by his religious beliefs. He was a devout Lutheran, and his music often reflects his faith. Many of his works, including Messiah and Israel in Egypt, draw on biblical themes and stories, and feature powerful choral passages that emphasize the majesty and power of God. Finally, Handel's music has had a lasting impact on the development of music in the Western tradition. His works helped to establish the oratorio as a major form of vocal music. And his influence can be heard in the works of later composers such as Mozart and Beethoven. Handel's music continues to be performed and celebrated today, and his legacy as one of the greatest composers in the history of music is secure. Handel's musical output was vast, including over 40 operas, 30 oratorios, numerous instrumental works, and a large number of sacred choral works. One of his most famous works is the oratorio Messiah, which was first performed in Dublin, Ireland in 1742. The work tells the story of the life of Christ, from his birth to his resurrection, and features some of Handel's most famous choral works, including the Hallelujah chorus. Another famous work by Handel is Water Music, a suite of instrumental pieces originally composed for a royal boating party on the River Thames in 1717. The work features a variety of dance forms and is characterized by its bright, lively melodies and rhythmic drive. Handel's operas were also an important part of his output. His operas were performed in London, where he established a successful opera company, and they helped to establish the Italian opera tradition in England. One of his most famous operas is Giulio Cesare, which tells the story of Julius Caesar and Cleopatra. In addition to his compositions, Handel was also known for his skill as a performer. He was an accomplished keyboard player and organist, and he often performed his own music in public concerts. His improvisational skills were legendary, and he was known for his ability to create complex and intricate musical structures on the fly. Overall, Handel's music is characterized by its grandeur, emotional depth, and technical mastery. His works continue to be performed and celebrated today, and his legacy as one of the greatest composers in the history of music is secure. Handel was also known for his collaborations with some of the leading artists of his time. He frequently worked with the librettist Charles Jennens, who provided the text for many of his oratorios, including Messiah. Handel also collaborated with leading singers and instrumentalists, including the castrato singer Senesino and the violinist Matthew Duberg. In addition to his work as a composer, Handel was also an important figure in the development of music publishing. He established his own publishing company, which allowed him to control the production and distribution of his music. This was a significant departure from the traditional system, in which composers had to rely on patronage or the goodwill of music publishers to have their works performed and published. Handel's influence can be heard in the works of many later composers, including Haydn, Mozart, and Beethoven. His music was especially influential in the development of the oratorio and the English choral tradition. And it continues to be an important part of the Western classical canon. Handel's legacy also extends beyond the world of classical music. His music has been used in films, television shows, and commercials, and it has been adapted by artists in a wide range of genres, including pop, rock, and jazz. This is a testament to the enduring appeal and versatility of his music. And it speaks to the profound impact that Handel has had on the development of music in the Western tradition.